This is a place of business, and you're gonna cost me money. What the hell kind of grounds do you have anyway to come intruding like this?
Read the warrants and see. You may want to skim down to where it says lethal substance. Here today. Sodium monofluoroacetate, also known as compound 1080. Wouldn't want to pop my popcorn in here.
That's all I got for you.
Odorless, tasteless, poisonous. Lethal dose is only 1/100th of an ounce. Possible murder weapon, but let's not get cocky till Doc Robbins has his say. Derek's hair on the broken rake handle. I don't think it got there while Derek was raking leaves. Not in Vegas, anyway. Well, it's just an ordinary, everyday scorecard. It's illegal gambling, high-stakes poker, the kind of pot that makes a CSI's yearly salary look like nickel-dime.
Yes, the shape of the wound, nature of the blunt instrument, Vic's hair. This rake handle is consistent with a head wound. Now I know what we're dealing with. I can safely say cause of death is poisoning by sodium monofluoroacetate, compound 1080, a rare and interesting poison. The toxic effects of SFMA usually happen within minutes of ingestion and result from a conversion of non-toxic fluoroacetate ions to toxic fluorocitric acid, which then blocks the Krebs cycle, affecting the central nervous system and heart. Typically, death results from ventricular tachycardia, or heart fibrillation. Layman's terms, ventricles of the heart start beating so rapidly as to prevent the pumping of blood. In some cases, death could be from respiratory failure caused by pulmonary edema. This essentially fills the lungs with water. Grissom wants you in the lab now that COD's been determined.
So, cause of death was determined to be pesticide. The Vic smoked it on his walkabout and dropped dead. But it's playing havoc with our Trinity. We don't have anyone to physically match to the crime scene.
You said it yourself. He died in the desert, potentially alone. But he was killed by poison. So what should you be looking for now?
A second crime scene, where the poison was originally mixed into the tobacco. And that's where we will find evidence linking the suspect to that crime scene.
Nicely reasoned, Greg. Now follow through.
This just came in. We found the car in Utah. The woman driving it gave us her testimony. Bottom line, she hung out with him 3 days ago, then split home. Says it was her camera that took the photo you found. For your info, her car has a GPS and a mobile phone. She wears size 5 boots that match our print. She smokes, and her lipstick is of the reddish variety that matches our sample. And her voice matches the 911 tape. Since she didn't have any poison on her, I think we can cross her and her evidence off our list. It's the VIX. Service provider was very helpful. 3 stored messages on the voicemail. Got them all on tape. Is Lou Astor a contractor or an exterminator? Guy's got enough pesticide to wipe out a city block. And his tools have traces of our VIC on them. Let's bring Mr. Astor in and see what he can build for us this time.
A lot of people owe me money. It's the nature of the construction business. Yeah, so what? I run a friendly game between friends, you know?
Right, friendly.
Yeah, and Hardy owed me money from a recent game. Chump change for him, but he was stiffing me, and I was feeling like the chump. Guy just would not pay up. Acted like I was the lowly grunt who works with his hands, and he's some special rich kid.
So you write him a friendly note, you tell him to pay up or else, then you wait for him to come around the shop and crack him over the head with a rake.
That wasn't the way it was. He freaks out about my note, and he comes over here and goes off on me. So sure, I defended myself. I mean, the bastard said he was going to kill me. Would you just stand there and let him rough you up? I don't think so.
Interesting take. Here's another. Derek was in the red with you in a big way, you and your poker friends. So you whack him a good one, sending him to his knees, breaking that rake in half. And while Derek's having a little nap on the floor, you take the opportunity to lift his tobacco from his pocket and sprinkle pesticide in his cigarettes.
Poison him? What are you, high? Listen, that ain't my style. If I got a problem with somebody, I'm not gonna... Jeez, are you kidding? I mean, is that how he died?
And we found it in Derek's tobacco, too.
Hey, in my business, pesticide is part of the program. Let me tell you, I am beyond careful with that stuff. It's as deadly as a heart attack, and I keep it under lock and key in the office. I even wear gloves when I handle it.
Careful precautions, like leaving an open jar in your shop.
Please! I must have misplaced the lid when I used it up. Frickin' jar was empty anyway. No harm done. Listen, I didn't care much for the dude, but I didn't kill him. I don't know, you'd have to check my records to know for sure. I mean, I've used it a lot. A few months back, Emily Hansen said, what was it she said? Oh yeah, she said, I have some pests that need taking care of. I brought it over there, but I think I spooked her some when I told her the care she needed to take around that deadly crap. Well, I was going to, but Carla has all these cats, you know, and she was worried about them getting into it, so I hauled it out of there. That's all I got for you.
Mother had pesticide in her garage, and she was there when Derek stopped by. We also have evidence linking her to the desert crime scene. I think we can get a judge to let us search that garage for anything that kills chemically.
Here at the house all day. Mr. Astor, my contractor, stopped by briefly, then left. I saw my son that afternoon. We spoke briefly in the garage as he was picking up his camping gear, which had been in storage there for months. I never touched any of it, by the way. Then he was on his way. Really quite unremarkable, except for the fact that I would never see him alive again. Well, if that isn't wonderful news.
Memos to her campaign manager. I hate paperwork. Looks like they talk about her son, though. Pesticide Safety, a consumer's handbook. Not your standard book of the month club material. Oh, somebody thoughtfully dog-eared a page for us. And here's our old friend, Compound 1080. This must be where Derek stowed his camping gear. I think we all have a hunch what this stuff is, but let's be sure.
I don't have anything else for you.
Emily must have known all about the pesticide as a poison, but knowing doesn't necessarily mean doing. This tracks. We know Lou brought some of the rodenticide over to Emily's house.
Hey, handsome. Thanks for the nice long talk last night. Anytime you're in the mood for a stimulating conversation, I guess you know the number. And if a private show is on your mind, you know where to find your shining star.
Doesn't quite sound like the little woman, huh? Bone sex, lap dances. Derek was not as domesticated as his wife thought.
Derek, where the hell are you? You know we have company tonight. If you're out gambling again, I swear to God, call me and get your irresponsible ass home!
Carla's tone is a tad different than the sweet, patient wife she's been laying on us.
Well, Derek, I certainly raised a class act for a son. Hanging up on his own mother. Lovely. You know what the problem is? I spoiled you when tough love was called for. And if you don't honor your financial commitment to my campaign, my darling boy, I will show you just how tough a mother's love can be. Do I make myself clear?
And here I was wondering why Emily didn't make Mother of the Year.